Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is Lauren and today I have something a little bit different. Instead of talking about tea, we're going to talk some books, in particular toddler and baby books. So grab yourself a cup and let's steep some tea. Okay, so some of you might already know that I have a daughter. She is going to be turning 2 years old at the end of January, and she adores books. And when I say she adores books, this is not an exaggeration. It is basically her primary form of entertainment. She loves reading books, and she has for a very, very long time. We've been reading to her since she was born. But once she was able to start moving and get over to the book baskets that we have, she used to just take them out and flip through them and throw them on the floor and look at all the pictures. And that would keep her entertained for 20 minutes at a time, going through all of the books that we had. She loves books. I know it's getting close to Christmas, and I thought it might be useful for you parents out there who might be searching for something that isn't a toy or something that you want to add to your collection. So here are a few of our select favorites that you might want to check out when you're looking for books for your kids this holiday season. Okay, so one of the very first things that we got for her when she was a baby were these books. As you can see, this one has been very well used. It doesn't even have the puppet anymore. These books were so great because it has this little interactive element to it, and they're short, their hands can hold it really easily, and they're pretty durable. I mean, I know this one has gotten completely destroyed, but even this one, with as much wear and tear, this is the very first one that we got, with as much wear and tear as it has seen, it is still kicking, which is impressive for my almost 2-year-old who's pretty rough with books. What we liked about this one is because it's Mary Had a Little Lamb, so it was also a song. That's another thing. My daughter loves anything that has a song in it. We used to ask her to find things on the page, and she really enjoyed using it as more than just a book, but more like even just as like a seek and find kind of thing, or a language developer. This one was gifted to us. It was from Marshall's, and I found some at Target. I've seen them at Books A Million. I imagine you can pretty much find them at any place that sells books these days. Now, before having a toddler, I had never heard of Sandra Boynton, if you can believe it. But at our shower, we actually received quite a few Sandra Boynton books. So the first book we got from her is Oh My, Oh My, Oh Dinosaurs. And this book, we used to read this book to her all of the time when she was a newborn. It's enjoyable for me and my husband, and she was very engaged by all of the rhyming and the pictures in it. And even today, she still likes to read this book, despite the fact that we've read it for 2 years. Another one that we really enjoyed was Snuggle Puppy. As you can see, it has been through the ringer. If you didn't know, you can also get the songs from some of these books, including Snuggle Puppy, on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere where you can purchase music. Sandra Boynton has put together multiple albums of songs from her books, and Snuggle Puppy was a huge hit in our house. For those of you who've never been exposed to Sandra Boynton, this is an excellent, excellent option for your 2 and under child. Another book that we got around the time that she turned 1 year old was Little Blue Truck. This is also a book I had never heard of before until my mother-in-law got it for our daughter. And we love Little Blue Truck. Such a fun story. Now, this is the second book in the series. This is Little Blue Truck Leads the Way, and takes place in the city. But the original Little Blue Truck, and this one as well, my daughter constantly requested we read this at least once a day, if not multiple times a day, for 6 months. This was a huge hit in our house, and it's one of those books that you as a parent are going to enjoy reading. We have all of the books in the series now. We have The original Little Blue Truck, the City Little Blue Truck, springtime, Christmas time, Halloween time, like we've got all the Little Blue Trucks. We are Blue Truck fans up in here. Another one that we have is Goodnight Little Bear. And this is a sweet little sleepy time tale about a bear and all the animals getting bedtime hugs. So every time there's a hug, like I give her a different type of hug, or I say it in a fun way, like bedtime hugs for little deer who cuddles in the dell. You can get a little cuddle up and nuzzle. Or bedtime hugs for little possum hanging from a tree and maybe do a bit of a rocking hug. And so you can have a lot of fun with this book. Now, this is a book that I found after we had gotten 10 Little Ladybugs from the library. I guess somewhere around a year and a half, somewhere between a year and a half, she started counting. Not necessarily pointing and counting, but just like reciting the numbers. So when I found 10 Little Ladybugs, she had such a blast counting along with them. Now that she's almost 2, she's starting to get the concept of point and count at the same time, and that you shouldn't just recite all of the numbers that you know. It's still a work in progress. She is by no means doing that every time accurately all of the time. When she's in the mood to do it, she is starting to do it. But I found this book called 10 Little Monkeys that is basically the same kind of concept as 10 Little Ladybugs. And she has gotten such a kick out of this one. Whenever we find more like these at the library, we get them, and it's always one of her favorite books that we get. Lots of fun rhymes, lots of fun pictures. Again, you can ask them, to find things within the pictures, and it facilitates counting, which is always a good thing. Another book that she absolutely adored and destroyed was a book given to us by my sister for her birthday or for Christmas last year when she was 1 year old. For about 6 months, this book and this song was all my daughter wanted to do and sing. She absolutely adored this book, and she adored singing the song. So I would highly recommend books that are inclusive of songs and singing, because small children are so receptive to singing and songs and rhymes. This is such a wonderful opportunity for you to do something with your child that they will enjoy and that you can do together. Along the lines of books that have been destroyed and very much loved, this is one of the series from Allison Oliver. She does the artwork and Jennifer Adams does the story. These are all primers of classic literature. This is the Wizard of Oz one, and this has been my daughter's favorite. We used to read this book every night before nap and bedtime. And this is a color primer, and she just adored going through all of these objects, we would ask her to point them out, and she would point them out for us. I remember the first time that she, point out a heart, and she says, "Mama's heart." And my heart basically exploded with love, because how precious is that? So this has been a very much adored book for her. And while the other books haven't exactly hit it out of the park with her, they're a lot of fun for you as an adult. It's beautiful artwork. The stories are very simple, and eventually these are things that they can grow into. When they're 1 year old, it's kind of hit or miss whether or not they're going to have any interest in trying to identify colors or numbers or anything like that. So these are good. So this is a book that we got from the library as a gift. At one of the toddler story times, they gave away free books at the end of each session. So we grabbed Car, Truck, Jeep, which is sung to the tune of Baa Baa, Black Sheep. This is one of my daughter's top 3 books right now. She's almost 2, and for the last, I guess, since the spring, this has been one of her favorite books. fun illustrations, very bright, very colorful, and the rhyme is really fun. She loves singing this by herself. She loves singing it with me or my husband. This is definitely a huge hit. Again, songs, rhymes, always going to be a good one with my daughter. The Paper Bag Princess. Now, this was another book given to us during our baby shower. This was a book that we read to my daughter a lot the first year of her life and was definitely one of her favorites. It is a wonderful story about woman empowerment and a girl sticking up for herself and doing what a girl does, and that is taking care of business. I love the messaging behind this, and it's a lot of fun to read, especially with the dragon parts. So I imagine this book will continue to cycle in and out of our rotation for years to come because of the wonderful message and just the fun illustrations. Who doesn't love a good dragon story, right? Now, we have introduced a little bit of Dr. Seuss into her library. I really loved Dr. Seuss when I was little, and so did my husband. But all of the research I've done, really leans towards having your child read more reality-based, non-imaginary character storylines. And Dr. Seuss is very whimsical, and so haven't done a ton of Dr. Seuss, but this is one that we have done, and that is Let Me in the Zoo, or Let Me to the Zoo, or I don't know. We've read this book an awful lot. This is a book that was inherited from my library as a child, which was a book that was added to our library after I was like kind of out of the Dr. Seuss phase. But my daughter loves this book. We used to read this every night before bed. It's got lots of fun language. You can point. And while it is fantasy and far out there and not realistic, she enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it. And, I feel like you just got to do what's right for you and your family. If you want your kid to read, fun, whimsical books, then let your kid read fun, whimsical books. It's all good, guys. You do you. Okay, last but not least is a book that I got pre-order, I guess maybe a year ago. My daughter likes to be interactive with her books, and so I thought this book, Press Here, would be a wonderful addition to our library, and I was not wrong. My daughter has loved pressing on these balls. You get to clap, you get to tap, you get to rub, you get to do all sorts of things. You get to flip the pages up and down, and all these balls do different things. You blow. It's such a wonderful interactive book. And it's, even with having it for over a year, she is still interested in reading this book. And this is definitely one of those ones that I would highly recommend that you add to your library, especially if you have a child that likes to interact with their books. All the critics and say, a replacement for iPhones and da-da-da-da-da. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think if you have a child that likes to interact with things in general and play, this is a great way to hold their attention and for you to play together. Hey guys, so I'm popping back on here because I forgot a few books. So I'm just quickly going to go through them for you. An obvious classic, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Again, kind of been through the ringer. This was one of my absolute favorites growing up, and so it's been wonderful being able to share it with my daughter. But she loves this one. She likes pointing out all the different letters. It's a fun rhyme. It's a classic. I think any toddler is probably interested in trucks, in vehicles, and books that have flaps. So this is one of two books that we have, and what I like about this one is that as she grows, there will be more interesting information on these pages. She's not necessarily interested in all the information, but she does like looking at the flaps and pointing out the different things that she sees. Lots of vibrant colors, illustrations. And I mean, who doesn't like flaps, right? Speaking of vehicles, Roadwork is one of multiple books by this author, but this one I think is our favorite. We've gotten a few from the library, but this is the only one we own. And it's lots of rhyming, lots of fun sounds for each page. Splish, splish, splash, sploosh, and drip, drop, glug. All about the creation of a road. And so, yeah, this was another one that she asks for by name, and we read very often at bedtime. These two books were given to us by my in-laws when we went to a thrift shop. This is Grover's Alphabet and the Sesame Street Bunny Hop. We've lost the cover for this one. Again, very well loved. The thing I wanted to say about these books, not necessarily these books in particular, though she loves these books, I think part of it is also just the size of the books. I think it's perfect. These are the books that we usually give her in the car. Because they're board books, they're very adorable, but the size is just perfect for her. And with this one, it's all the different letters of the alphabet with Grover. And this one is the story of bunnies that have gotten loose in Sesame Street. This is a fun one for pointing and finding things. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention another set of small board books is always a really great option for kids of this age. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you were able to find something for your library. And if you have any questions about the books that I've mentioned today, I'll have those all linked below for you so you can easily click on them and find them for yourself. If you have a favorite book that you in your child's library, please comment down below because I'm always looking for new books to add to ours. And if you like videos like this, give this video a thumbs up so I know to keep making more like it. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me and see you next time. Bye.